Why would we not be able to take pictures?
This is a county building. You're not supposed to be taking pictures inside.
Can you take pictures of the employees?
No, they're always out here working. They don't want that picture taken. Well, I don't want my picture taken.
Yeah, go ahead and call Metro.
You're going to call the police on us?
Well, because we don't understand why you're filming it.
If you don't have any business to conduct here, because this is a government building, people come here for.
Well, I do. I told you my business is.
Right, but they don't do.
I'm a member of the press, and this is what
I understand, but they don't do any filming here.
What do you mean they don't do any filming?
They don't deal. They're not like a news camera crew here or anything. They deal with courts and whatnot. And if your camera has nothing.
Well, I wouldn't go into a courtroom.
I know, but if it has nothing to do with that, then they have every right to say, hey, you need to leave.
No, they don't actually. You're wrong.
Oh yeah, my brain is flaming and I don't know which way to go. Come and visit us in Vegas, everybody. www.themobileminister.com. Amagansett Press, you rock. Watching the Watchmen, couldn't be better. Burning love.
How's it going, guys? Watching the Watchmen here, out with Amagansett Press, here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today we're at the Clark County Government Center in Las Vegas. And we're gonna go inside, check it out, and see if they respect our First Amendment right to take video in a public building. So if you like this video and what we do, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and Amagansett Press's channel on YouTube. And if you want to see the titles and thumbnails of new videos the day before they come out here on YouTube, you can follow my Twitter and Instagram. So we're here at the main entrance.
It's a beautiful building. Lots of local red stone. And yeah, let's go inside and see how these folks are doing today. Ready, Watchman?
Yeah.
Oh, this is all, look at all this.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's nice. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing today? Good. Anything, we're just a couple of tourists who've never been in Vegas before. My name's Jason, by the way. What's your first name?
My name is Dave.
I'm sorry, was it Dave?
Yes.
Oh, this is my son, Ben.
Ben, nice to meet you.
Anything interesting you can tell us we should see while we're here? Like some of these buildings have like beautiful domes or things, or is there any architectural feature?
I always tell people that's from out of town. I'm from Vegas, but I don't get out much, so I would be a horrible tour guide.
That's all right. What do you mean you don't get much? You're working, you're doing a job?
I would be horrible.
Do you have one of those native plates on your car?
I don't have a car.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got to get one. I wish I had. Those are really cool plates.
Yeah, I know which place you're talking
That's like a new design, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because I remember the old ones had the "Welcome to Vegas" sign.
Yeah.
on it. Yeah. Well, all right, Dave. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess they got the directory over here.
Yeah. It's a big building. So 6 floors.
You are here?
Let's wander around, see what we see.
There's a rotunda, that might be cool.
Yeah, that's what I was. I mean, obviously we'll find that stuff on our own, but
Yeah. Some events over here.
you just never know. Sometimes you go through these buildings and you miss like something in a corner somewhere you should have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, public community posting board here for Clark County. As usual, they have the healthy snack section here. And I'm sure there's probably a healthy drink machine somewhere around.
this is cool.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I'm old.
Oh, wow.
How's it going, guys? Good. You guys seem to work in a beautiful place.
Who are you with?
It's beautiful. Nobody. We're just
On your own?
never been in Las Vegas before.
Okay.
Took me 50 years to get here.
Well, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, no, it's all. This is beautiful. I wouldn't even have. Can't see this from the outside. I didn't realize there was a dome.
Oh, yeah.
So very nice. Anything interesting? We were speaking today up at the front, but is there anything interesting besides this in the building that you think a couple of tourists should be taking a look at? Or
I wouldn't say so necessarily. I mean, this is pretty much the centerpiece of the building.
it is, yeah.
I mean, we have a little art exhibit going for Black History Month.
Okay.
Other than that, you have more architectural interest on the exterior of the buildings. Across the street, you have the Brain Center. That's an extremely artistically interesting building.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
All right, that's a good tip. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, it's right. If you were, when you go out to one of them, be right over here on the northwest side, or excuse me, northeast side of the street.
Okay. And it's the brain center.
It's called the Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Brain Center.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
beautiful out there.
All right, good. I appreciate that.
You know, if you went out to the amphitheater, you can see that. You might want to take a shot. We have we call it the pyramid. It's like a pyramid shape on the exterior of the building, so it actually looks like a pyramid out there. It might be a good shot.
Out in the grass.
Yeah, it's going to be if you went out.
So it's like a mini
Grass
Luxor.
Pretty much. Yeah, if you went out here and then you won't miss it. You'll
Okay.
see over to the right.
All right, cool.
It's on your way to the Brain Center if you wanted to go.
All right, very cool. Well, I appreciate the information.
Hey,
Thank
no
you so much.
problem.
Can I just ask what your first name is?
My name is Brian.
Brian, Jason.
Good
Pleasure to meet you,
Jason.
sir. How are you? What's your name, sir?
Ted,
Tim. Jason. Nice to meet you. My pleasure.
welcome to Vegas.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
you.
All right.
All right, so let's take a look at this. We have a temporary display here for Black History Month. Kobe. Maya Angelou. Very cool. Oh, this is nice. Two elevators.
Cool.
Some community public notices and bulletin boards here. And then this is the treasurer's office.
Where is this?
This is where you can drop off your tag.
All right, basically, they're
Real estate.
at that moment.
Right.
Yep.
See if we can get a shot of the whole. We'll see if we can get a. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, guy.
Guys, can you please take pictures of the table, please?
Sorry?
Can you guys not take pictures of the area?
Take picture of whatever.
This area?
Why is that?
Because I'm asking. Can you go over there, please?
Why would we not be able to take pictures?
This is a county building. You're not supposed to be taking pictures inside.
We're not, we're not supposed to be taking, let's go over here.
Yeah, let's do this. So the art is okay, but you're not supposed to be taking pictures of business and stuff.
Where does it say that?
Would you like to come over here?
Not necessarily, I mean, yeah, all right, I'll come over here. What is that?
It's policy. It's county policy.
It's county, where does it say that? I didn't,
You can't be taking pictures of,
well, nobody said anything when we walked in. Well,
that's what I'm telling you now. You can't be taking pictures of our secure areas, all right?
where does it, I'm just asking, where does it say that?
And our employees, okay?
Can't take pictures of the employees?
The employees are out here working. They don't want their picture taken. Well, I don't want my picture taken. I'm standing right next to you.
We just shook hands and had a nice
I
cordial
understand
conversation.
that. I understand that.
So
Because
things,
you were taking pictures of the aesthetics of the building.
no, you just said you didn't want to.
Not trying to take pictures over here.
All right, let's take it down a notch and start all over again. So, if there are restricted areas in this building, why are they not marked so people would know? Because if I saw a sign that says this is a restricted area, I wouldn't even try to go in there.
You're right, bro.
This is wide open to the public and there's no restriction.
That's what I'm saying, but you're taking pictures of the
But you need,
There's nothing
but
wrong
you
with
need to
that.
realize this is a government building.
Oh, I do realize that. It's a public building.
I'm telling them you can't take pictures of employees trying to do their job. You're working.
I don't understand what the theory is behind that statement. That doesn't make any sense. It's a public building.
It is a public building.
What I did was I purposely came in, introduced myself today up at the front, introduced the security guard. I introduced myself, shook hands with these gentlemen. We had a nice conversation. They directed us to your Black History Month display and a couple other things in the building. And we were just walking around. I've never been in Las Vegas before. But then to have security come running up and tell me I'm...
Right, but it's for the, it's also, I mean, it's one thing if you're here for an event or something, but just to go through the building and...
Well, it's an event for me. I'm traveling with my son and I'm on a trip and we're documenting our trip. So for me,
And
it's
filming
an-
employees.
filming whatever I can see. It's a public building. Yeah.
Well, you might want to call Metro. Yeah, go ahead and call Metro.
You're gonna call the police on us?
Well, because we don't understand why you're filming it.
I just
It's
explained
filming
Since it's
our
like, well, here how I'll.
Didn't I just explain to you?
I'm going to explain it to you.
So wait, let me
Since
just...
it's a government.
No,
building.
I'm in the middle of a
Just go ahead-
conversation.
No, just go ahead and call Metro.
So
It's
you're
okay.
telling me a couple of tourists come into your building, introduce themselves to security, have a cordial conversation, walking around, and not only do you have security come bum rush us in the office, there you're gonna have the police.
When you're filming back for our employees, there's no reason to film back for our employees.
Sure there is. Why didn't you ask me what my reason for filming the employees is? That might be a good idea.
No, I don't. You don't need to film our employees.
So
doing their job.
you know what I'm doing without
No,
asking.
I don't know,
Okay. So I guess we'll wait for Metro then.
and that's okay.
Yeah. So it's okay with me. And they'll tell you that we have every right to be here.
And that's fine. And they might escort you through the office, through the building, as long as you're escorted.
I don't need an
That's fine.
escort. I'm 50 years old. Haven't needed an escort for a very long time. What do you guys, I mean, the reason I'm,
Protection of the employees.
what are they doing wrong? that you
We're
don't
not
want
doing
them-
anything wrong.
So then what are you protecting them from?
Situations that could be occurring.
Such as?
I don't need to explain it to you. I don't
What a
need-
welcome
I
to your
don't-
city.
I don't need
What
to
a welcome to
explain
your
why
city.
we don't want our
Why?
employees filmed. Well, I mean,
Sure you do.
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
No, I
Sure you do.
don't.
Why you don't want them filmed, or why it's the law that they can't be filmed? Which one is it?
I don't know all the laws, but I'm just saying.
Well, if you don't know the law, then why would you be telling me I can't do something?
Sir, I'm not going to get into a debate with you.
Because you don't have the information to get into a debate. You just went off half-cocked and called the police on a father and son visiting Las Vegas for the first time. That's a beautiful welcome to your city. You'd make an excellent ambassador for your city here, behaving that way. And then when you behave that way, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know if you're a resident or if you actually work here. You didn't even identify yourself. Are you a public employee? So what is your name?
I don't need to tell you.
Would you give me your first name?
No, I don't need to tell you my first name.
You're a public employee, so you do need to identify yourself if you're acting in your official capacity, giving me orders. Yes, you do.
I'm not giving you orders.
Sure you
I'm
are.
just telling you I don't. It's not. You don't need to be public to be.
I don't need you to tell me what I need to be doing. That's very, that's very unreasonable. I'm sorry. I think what you do is you approach somebody, you try to get an idea of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it if you're curious.
Clark County, I work at the Clark County Government Center, 500 South Grand Central. Can you send up here? I have some individuals that have been asked to stop filming.
You just made a false police report. That's not what you asked me to do. You asked me to stop filming in the offices, not the building.
To have Metro response.
Wow, you guys are going to get an education today.
The security test. Okay. I have 2 males.
Make sure you give me a good description. I'm a handsome guy. And I really wish that we could have like just had a cordial conversation and discussed this. There was no reason to like go full red alert alarm on us. Seriously? Just make sure you tell them the truth.
The one gentleman said that he was 50 years old. Another one is a 17 Yes. Medium.
Hi, darling.
Green t-shirt, raised tavern, Green River t-shirt.
I think it's fantastic that you guys have a couple of people visiting this beautiful building and call the police on us for taking photographs of this beautiful building.
The other one's wearing black t-shirt.
You're going to think about this later on and realize you jumped the gun.
And a blue jeans.
You are. And I'm sorry that that's the image you want to present for Clark County.
No, just no.
It's a shame. It really is a shame. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
No.
Police don't scare me at all. I'm not worried about the police.
Brian, B-R-I-A-N.
People that do nothing wrong have nothing to hide.
C-O-O-P-E-R. 702. Yes, please.
And the fact that he just told the police that you asked me to leave and I refused to, that's interesting too. See, this is why we video. Because that's actually a false police report, what he just said. So you just told
So you know I didn't make a police report.
You just told Metro that I refused to leave the building, to stop taking pictures of the building. That's completely inaccurate. Your security guard asked me to come out of the Treasury office, which is exactly what we did. We walked back to the security desk with it. You never asked me to leave the building. You never asked me not to take photographs of the building. You asked me not to photograph the inside of an office, claiming that it's a restricted area, which it's not. So we'll see how it goes when Metro gets here. You guys will learn something today. And it's a shame you just didn't have a cordial conversation with me without calling the police, because I could have just straightened this all out for you in a much simpler way. But if you want to waste resources and call the police department on a father and son traveling, that's up to you. It's funny how you laugh when I say waste resources. That's interesting. I mean, you got to put yourself in my shoes. Imagine if your husband was traveling with your children and this is what happened to him. It's not nice. It's really not. It's not nice. It's not necessary. It's not. It doesn't have to be that way. But if you feel like that's what you need to do, there you go. And you still haven't even identified yourself. Can you tell me what your position is here, so I know if you're even somebody I should be listening to?
You don't have to listen to us at all.
All right, well,
You've chosen not to up until now.
That's not true at all, man. Everything's on video, so be careful. Let me just tell you guys this, okay? I'm going to straighten you out on this right now. What I'm doing is a First Amendment audit, okay? All right? And I want you to be very careful how you proceed and what you say, because it's all being recorded and this information is going to be disseminated to a couple of people.
Okay.
So, I have a small channel on YouTube, so we'll see how that goes. And I was hoping to show up in Clark County, get some pictures of this gorgeous building, shake hands with these folks like I did when I came in, and leave with a good feeling and knowing that Clark County's upholding the Constitution and treating the citizenry with respect and honoring their oath. But I guess that doesn't go on here in this particular case. It's a scary thing in life to see something such as a camera and just make all kinds of assumptions in your head and not know what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, or what the situation is. I don't tend to behave that way, but if that's the way you run your life, and you're working here in an official capacity as a public employee, as a county employee, refusing to identify yourself, giving orders like you're somebody in charge and I don't even know who you are.
Not giving orders. All I did was ask you to stop filming the employees.
And did I? I'm standing on the other side of a wall. Did I stop filming them, or did I continue to film them?
You said it was your right to film them.
But did I stop filming them?
I have no idea. 'Cause I
There you go. So you don't know the law. You don't know what I'm doing.
All I did was heard you.
You know what, ma'am? I'm done speaking to you. I'll wait for the police.
That's fine.
This is a true celebration of ignorance, and we're going to get that fixed for you. See, the problem is you guys have had other people in here before, and you tend to lump everybody into a category. Which, you know, imagine if people did that with police officers or county workers or anybody else. I tend to take people on a case-by-case basis and like to know who I'm speaking with, and I judge you by your behavior, not somebody else's behavior from 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago or whatever it was. So, if you want to just generalize and lump people into categories and profile, that's up to you.
That's not what's happening.
Oh, yes, it is. That's exactly what's happening. This young lady, who, as far as I'm concerned, could button up her shirt and look a little more professional while she's at work, came over there and asked me to walk out of that office with her so we could discuss what was going on, which I did. I walked right back to the security desk with her. But that's something you don't know.
No, I don't.
Right, because your alarm prevented you from thinking clearly. Yeah. Well, you got to admit that's true. You just kind of jumped into action without really finding out what was going on. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. I don't think it serves the citizenry very well. I don't think it's doing your city any favor to behave like that. And you have to realize I went through the motions of deliberately coming and introducing myself to your security staff before I even went through the building, and none of them said a word about filming. I actually had this camera like this, film this gentleman. He gave me some great advice about checking out the Brain Center and the pyramid outside and all that stuff. We had a wonderful conversation, shook hands. Nobody said anything about any restricted areas, can't be here, can't film here, nothing. He actually told me to go take a look at the rest of the building, said it was beautiful.
No, it is.
Yeah, and he told me it was more beautiful on the outside than on the inside, so I'm starting to believe that's true.
No.
I just wanted to make sure.
You know, it's like anything in life. There are very good police officers out there. There are very good county workers out there. Okay? But there's also bad. Anything in life has negatives and positives. Right? Same thing with videographers. Same thing with people that do First Amendment audits. There are people out there that go out and instigate and look for problems. Then there are people that are actually out defending the Constitution of the United States and doing things for the right reason. So I'm just suggesting to you that you might want to find out who you're speaking with before you decide how you're going to proceed and how you're going to react. Just a thought. Can we shake hands and introduce ourselves?
Sure.
My name's Jason. What is your name?
Mark.
Mark, pleasure to meet you. It's my son, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
And he's 16, he's not 17 to 19, he's just a tall kid. So we're going to see how accurate you folks are. Since you don't know what's going on, you're going to let one of these guys explain what happened? Okay, good.
Both can explain.
Well, who would be both of them?
Or and
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm very interested to hear how the conversation goes on your end first. We have no ill intent, no ill will. There's no nefarious activity going on. There's no reason to have reacted the way we did, and you'll find that out. Now, if the police want to ask me to leave and they want to violate my rights, that's up to them. That's their choice. But nobody asked me to leave. You still haven't asked me to leave. Nobody's asked me to leave this building
just
once.
asked you to quit filming the employees.
Which I did immediately. Young lady, when you came over and asked me to leave the treasurer's office, did I walk back to the security desk with you within 30 seconds, a minute?
A couple arguments, yes, we can.
A couple of arguments? It's all on video, so just be careful.
But that's that. We don't understand that. Is why.
So why don't you ask me and I'd be happy to
why is
explain
the
it to you.
debate? I mean, we're just asking for common courtesy.
Do you want me to explain to you?
Yeah, but I
I'd
mean,
be
it
happy
doesn't
to.
have to be this, and that's all we said is when you hear the debate going, it's like, why all the tension? Why all the conflict?
There is no tension and conflict. The tension and conflict is coming from your side. I'd be happy to tell you what I'm doing. I actually just did tell you what I'm doing, but if you need more details, I'd be happy to tell you why I'm doing it and what I'm doing. You know, men and women go overseas every day and pay a huge price to defend the Constitution of the United States, and that's what we're out doing. I'm not hanging out with my son causing problems. And I have probably about 200 videos on YouTube which will show you exactly what I do. So I'm not like past experiences that you might have. I'm a different person. So, well, like I said before, you don't treat me right, you know? It's not fair to me. I'm literally just somebody here as a tourist in your city, okay? Checking out Las Vegas, never been here before. I'm originally from New York, I live in Denver now. And it's a beautiful city. And now I have this as part of my memory. That I had the police call on me for taking photographs in a publicly owned building.
You can take photographs, but to stand and video our employees, that's a different discussion.
I wasn't saying videoing your employees.
That's what I heard, is you were videoing our employees. Okay, I don't watch your film.
This camera has a very wide angle lens, okay, and I'm not directing my camera at any particular person. What I'm doing is...
the public space here is beautiful. Film up here.
That office is public space.
You know,
now, what's not public space is on the other side of the counter. On this side of the counter, that's publicly accessible area. It's not a
but you're filming behind the counter.
Perfectly legal. Perfectly legal, perfectly within my rights, and there's no reason I shouldn't be allowed to do that. Unless you can quote a law or statute or something. Somebody said it was policy. I think that was you. Do you have a copy of your policy?
I don't think I said it was policy.
Somebody said it was policy. Maybe it was one of these folks. But if you had a copy of your policy, I'd be glad to take a look at it. It should, if you have restricted areas and possible policy violations that someone might not even be aware that they're committing, maybe it'd be a good idea to have a policy posted somewhere when people come in so they can take a look at it and know what the rules are. I'm not a psychic. I don't know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do as far as I know the law. I don't know what your particular policy is, and policies for employees. The police are not policy enforcers. The police are law enforcement. Like I said, they can ask me to leave if that's what they want to do, but they'll be violating my rights. And I'm not here for a lawsuit. I'm 50 years old. I've never sued anybody in my life. Never been arrested, never sued anybody in my life. So that's not what it's all about. Never even been charged with a crime. So it's a shame that you had to make your city look this way, it really is. And when you have time to sit down and think about it, and you wake up tomorrow morning and you eventually see the video and whatever happens, you have a little time to process it, you're probably going to say to yourself, maybe I did overreact a little bit. We could have had this conversation before you called the police. There was just a very serious incident over at Nordstrom's. Now, the police have real things to do. Yeah, so.
I'm just waiting.
And also, if you're going to come out and tell people that they're not allowed to be doing something, you really should have the information to put behind it. As far as a copy of the policy, a statute, something. You can't just say, well, I don't feel like having you here. Who are you?
I don't think that's what he said.
That's what, you haven't given me any reason that I can't be here. You haven't given me one lawful reason that I can't be here taking video. So until you do that, I'm going to assume that we're just dealing with your feelings, emotions, and people's, yeah, that's what it is. What a shame, this beautiful building, this beautiful city, and this is where you had to take it. And refusing to identify yourself. I mean, if you work for the county, I could find out who you are in 3 minutes.
That's fine.
So why would you not introduce yourself? Why wouldn't you honestly, why wouldn't you come out and say, my name's Joanne, and I work here.
Why you have all the conflict?
What conflict?
This. I don't know. I don't understand. I mean,
You just called the police on me.
but I don't understand this.
I just
understand this.
You want to know why you don't understand it? Because I'm explaining it to you and you're not listening.
Okay, I think I'm listening, but I don't understand why.
Ask me a question, I'll answer it.
You shouldn't be filming employees, but you continue to film.
Because I don't take blind directives from people. I follow the law, man. That's why the law is in writing.
Okay.
Right? And if you have a policy that says that I can't do that, show me the policy, and I'll be happy to not do it. I want, if that's what your policy says, I'd be happy to see what your policy says, look into the legality of it, and find out if your policy goes along parallel with the law, and if it does, then that's what it is. If it doesn't, then that's another issue. Maybe that's why I'm here. But you jumped the gun. And I'm sorry you did that. That's all. And you really should button your shirt up a little more professional while you're at work. It's not a good look. Honestly. I'm surprised they allow you to walk around like that. Even you, tucking the shoulder, neaten it up a little bit. Just saying, just my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion in this building, right? Or is that against policy as well? No opinions? Death stare now from an employee? It's a shame. It is, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. You have kids. You don't want people treating their kids like that. Fair is fair, and if I was doing something wrong or I was creating a disturbance, I can see where you're coming from. But just to get angry because your ego is hurt is a little upsetting. You know, I don't know. It is. Is there any reason why you guys didn't say to me when I came up to the desk, I see you have cameras, don't go in any secured areas? I mean, you are security, that would be your responsibility, right? Did you just drop the ball or you didn't realize there was an issue? No, that's what people do when they don't know what to say, they just tend not to say anything. Okay. We'll ride out with that until Metro gets here. I'm sure you're a lot younger than I am. But I'm sure you also remember a day when somebody would have a camera and people would jump in front of the camera and say, "Hi, Mom." So it's a shame those days are gone. It really is.
Take elevators behind the stairs up to the 3rd floor.
And I think what it does is create, it exacerbates the problem. I really just think that a smart thing to do would have been for somebody in, I don't know if you're in that capacity, but somebody who's in a higher up supervisor capacity or something along those lines, administrative capacity, to come down and say, "Hey guys, how are you? I see that you're filming, you're here in our building. Can I help you with anything? Why are you filming? What are you doing?" And have a conversation about it. Either understand what I'm doing or decide you don't understand it and then call the police. But to just jump right into this, I mean, that's extreme as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's a shame. I do. Yeah, it is. You just called the police on a father and son taking video in a public building for no reason. Can't state a law, can't show me a policy, can't show me a rule, and I'm supposed to just have a crystal ball and know that I'm not allowed to do that. I don't know how that works, but my crystal ball broke years ago. And you guys really need to step up your game, because if somebody walks into this building doing something they're not supposed to be doing, I think you should let them know about it before it turns into this.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
My name is Jason.
Yeah. Jason, it's nice to meet you, Jason.
What's your name, sir? James?
Yep.
And you work here as well?
I do.
And can I ask in what capacity you work here?
Supervisor.
You're a supervisor of what, the building?
Maintenance.
County? Maintenance supervisor. Okay. Well, very good to meet you, James. Appreciate you.
as well.
Yep. Are you hanging around so after the cops drag us out of here in handcuffs, you can clean up the mess?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
This young lady whose name I don't know just decided to call the police on us because I'm here with my son taking video. So that's what we're all doing. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Indeed. Nice building, huh?
It is a beautiful building, and I was just thinking in my mind, I was about to say to you, you keep it immaculate. You guys do a good job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. How could you not think this building's beautiful? Why would you not want to take pictures and video of it?
I agree. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, I agree as well. We'll find out if Metro agrees. And it really is a shame. I hope that I always think that in life, you always try to look for that silver lining. So hopefully this situation happening does something good for all of us that are standing here. And if we can all walk away from this with a better education, a better understanding of each other, hopefully we can come to some meeting of the minds before this is all over. That's great. That's what we're out for. And what we also do is we focus on, because these days in this country there's a huge divide between law enforcement and the citizenry, and that's growing every day. And part of our focus is to try to close that divide through open dialogue and communication. And that's what we do. We have many wonderful conversations with police chiefs and sheriffs and law enforcement and government workers and all kinds of stuff. And that's what we're geared towards. We're looking to help the situation. We're not looking to hurt the And we're doing very good at it. Yeah, my channel just turned 107,000 subscribers today. Yeah. I get about 125 to 150,000 views a day. And I really, my goal is, I know there's guys out there that come in instigating, looking for crimes, looking to stir things up and want to file a lawsuit. Like I told you, I'm 50 years old, never sued anybody in my life. But what we really are looking for are the good interactions. We want to find the good people. We like to go to municipalities. First of all, the whole auditing thing is secondary to what I do. The primary thing that I'm doing right now is traveling the country with my son and making memories. Secondary to that is we're defending the Constitution of the United States and we're standing up for our rights. So I've said it 1,000 times, rights are like muscles. And if you don't exercise them, you lose them. So what this is an exercise of rights.
So,
and if you,
so when you film like employees and stuff like that in public facilities, it's okay even if they actually get a
there is no legally.
Educate
yeah,
me.
no, I'd be happy to answer. So legally, there is no expectation of privacy in public, right? So the way the law works, and there's case law, and the Supreme Court's already ruled on this. Anything that I can see, when I'm standing somewhere that I have every lawful right to be, if I'm in a publicly accessible area and I'm not a restricted area, anything my eyes can see, I can record. You can't trespass somebody's eyes. So once I cross that line and go into a restricted area, now I have a problem. If I don't do that and I stay where I'm allowed to be, it's like being on the sidewalk. It's like if you take your kids to Disney World and you want to take a picture of your kids and there's 11,000 people standing behind them. Are you going to go ask each one of those people for permission to take the picture of your kids because they're going to be in the photograph? There is no expectation of privacy. There wouldn't be news agencies. Major media wouldn't be able to be out filming their stories because they wouldn't be able to, they'd have to get consent from every person they took a picture of.
Okay, so what if employees felt unsafe with you doing that?
If I felt unsafe, if I was an employee, I can only speak for myself. If I was an employee and I felt unsafe because somebody came in with a camera,
And was
myself personally, I would probably try to find out why they're doing it and what they're doing before I jump the gun and make that decision for myself. I would try to get that information from them. And if they were being difficult and refusing to tell me what they were doing, or if they seemed like they were about to cause a problem, or if they were creating a disturbance, or doing anything that I thought might be illegal or improper, then I might tell them, well, listen, if you don't cut that out, I'm going to have to call law enforcement because I don't feel comfortable with what you're doing. I tend to communicate. So if you're asking me what I would do, that's what I would do. I don't know what anybody else would do. Yeah. And I think at the end of this, we could still shake hands and be friends. You seem like a very nice woman. And I think your intentions are to protect your building and the people that work here. But a very key part of that is, first is identifying the threat and finding out if there is a threat. Because we could just be, I could be being very honest with you, and we could just be a couple of nice guys that are going through Las Vegas defending the Constitution of the United States and just taking some video. Or I could be lying to you, and that could be a story, and I could have some serious master plan going on here to cause some serious disruption at your county offices. But I don't think you even think that's the case. So I think, see, so now your shoulders are down, you're smiling, we're having a much more cordial conversation, and that's because you chose to speak to me and ask me what I'm doing, and we're having a conversation, we're talking it out. That's all. And I think anybody would agree with, don't you agree with that, Jim?
So dialogue's always good.
That's it. Well, no, it's not even dialogue's always good. I think communication can solve 98% of the world's problems, but people don't communicate with them. That's a big problem. It really is. And calling the police on a father and son in here taking video.
We're calling police on a father and son.
Sure it is.
When we were asking, from what I understand, when we were asking you to stop filming, there was pushback.
What I said? No. Well, when somebody walks up to you, let's say you were out on the street doing something, or in this public building doing something, and I walked up to you and asked you to do something, would you just do it? You would say to me, why do I have to do that? So what I said to the young lady was, why can't I film in here? Just like that. There was no argument, it's all on camera, I'm not making it up. She should have a body cam, then you'd have a camera as well. A video. There was no, when somebody, she walked up and said to me, you can't be filming in here. So I said, what do you mean I can't be filming here? Why is that? Oh, you can't come over here? I said, no, just what's the problem? Is there an issue? And she wanted to pursue it. So I actually said to her, you know what? Let's go out in the hallway so we don't disturb these folks. And then she said, no, let's go over here. And I said, well, I really don't want to go. And then I saw she meant the security desk. So I said, oh, okay, I'll go to your security desk. And we walked up to the security desk. There was no argument. Whoever told you that embellished the story.
I was just observing. To be honest with you, I was over here checking.
And you felt like I was having an argument with her?
I felt like you were resisting.
Oh, well, of course I am.
Yeah, so that's
Wouldn't
where,
you? If I
and
walked
so
up to you
that
on
caught
this-
my attention because we were asking you to not film the employees,
Okay, but
and you were resisting.
Rosa
and-
Parks was
right.
resisting when she sat in the front seat of the bus. You know,
I understand
so
that,
there's civil
I understand
disobedience
that.
and there's not civil disobedience.
I understand.
So when somebody walks up to me as a 50-year-old man, okay, and tells me to do something, my natural response is why. And if there's a legitimate reason, then okay, sure. But if you're just asking me to do something, I don't know who you are. I don't know. I still don't know who you are. I know this is James, and he's the head of the maintenance department. I have no idea who you are. So I have people who I don't know walking up to me, asking me or telling me to do things. And of course, I'm going to say, why is that? So like I said, if you had your policy posted at the entrances, and the policy said no video taking in the private offices and this and that, I would have known that. And then I could have walked up to security and said, hey, what's the deal with the policy? It says I can't film in the offices. We could have had a conversation about that, but I would have respected that.
Okay.
I don't go into restricted areas. I'm not that stupid. Take up at your next meeting. Maybe it'd be a good idea to have your policy posted, right?
May I speak with you? Sure.
He's going to tell her I'm winning the argument. So stop talking to me. And you guys, man, seriously, I got nothing against you guys. You guys are just doing your job, but we're all men here. We should be able to communicate and have a conversation. You know, there's nobody's doing it. At the end of the day, the reality of this whole situation is nobody's doing anything wrong. And we all just wound up here in this situation by happenstance. And if we could talk it out, you know, if we were at the bar having a couple of beers, we'd talk it out. Why can't we talk it out standing here? That's all it is. Communication, man. You learn a lot by communicating with people. You could wind up getting somebody who's a good guy in a lot of trouble one day, and you could wind up letting somebody go that's the real problem. So you need to find out who's doing what and why they're doing it. That's all I'm saying. I think you guys have all the best intentions. I think all you're doing is trying to protect your building. I don't think you're trying to be mean. I think you're probably just following what you think is your protocol, and that's fine. I understand that. But I think communication's key, guys. And I believe it's part of your policy to de-escalate and handle things a little more professional. I mean, you told somebody, you called up Metro and told them that I refused to stop filming. That's not even what happened. You have to be accurate. You could literally, at the end of the day, in an extreme case, you could get somebody shot. You could get somebody hurt. You know, and I'm here with my son. I love this kid. So to call the police on him is a little, you know, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to your family. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not even that big, man. You could probably grab me and put me in a corner. You know? So I think we all jumped the gun here today. And I think it's growth is uncomfortable. And education is uncomfortable. But I think we all dropped the gun here today. And I think if you can let your shoulders down and relax and breathe a little bit, you might even be able to say to me, you know what, bro, at the end of the day, maybe we did jump the gun and maybe we should have spoken to you. Maybe that's how things should have gone. That's what I would say to somebody. But I'm one of those people that loves to admit when I'm wrong. My father raised me with the belief that I can only learn something when I'm wrong. Right? So being wrong is a good thing. It really is. Because when you're right, you already know you're not going to learn anything. When you're wrong, you can figure it out. Is there a water fountain around here?
There's one over by the bathrooms.
You're not going to tell the police I tried to escape when I go get some water, right?
No, it's not.
They might take some time to get here because I'm sure they know there's nothing going on.
Yeah, there could be hours.
Hours? Well, I'm not going to stick around that long. Excellent, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It's a good thing there's nothing actually going on here if it's going to take the cops hours to get here.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. You know, it just brings up a question. What do you guys do? Like, let's say something actually was going on here. It could really take them hours to get here. Like, then what do you do?
We just try to resolve it. I mean, Metro's pretty tasked right now.
Well, you can always call them and tell them we had a friendly conversation, we worked it out. But that's up to you.
You guys are free to go whenever you want to go.
Oh no, when somebody calls the police on me, I stay. Yeah, I don't run from the cops.
That's fine.
Now you've given me no choice but to hang around. I probably would have been gone. Well, I don't know. It's a big building. It would have taken us a few minutes to go through it, but we would have just moved along.
Did you guys know?
Excuse me.
And I hate when these things go this way and people get upset. You're starting to smile a little bit, but you're being extremely serious. I would love it when we leave if we all wind up shaking hands and everybody's smiling and everything's fine and that's the way that goes. I don't want anybody to be angry or upset. That's not what we're all about. That's not what we're doing here. It's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish.
It'd be really nice if we could just do that right now.
Oh, I would love to, but the only problem is you call the police, and I don't want to be in my hotel room tonight and have the police show up looking for me because I don't know.
You leave, we'll just cancel the call.
Well, why don't you cancel the call and then I'll leave?
You know.
Actually, at this point, it's probably best for them to show up because then we can all find out how Las Vegas Metro is going to handle it and what the law is and what their take is on it.
But that's part of what you do for documentaries.
No, well, I'll give you, before I leave, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'll give you my channel name. Okay, and you're going to go on my channel and you're going to see that I'm the exact polar opposite of every other auditor that's out there. We do things nicely. I wind up leaving and shaking hands with everyone. We have cordial interactions with people. Like I told you, I mean, I go to FBI buildings, jails, prisons. There, you know, and part of what we do, I mentioned, you know, the guys that go overseas, the guys and gals that go overseas and pay a huge price for our Constitution, but there are also a lot of people sitting in jail that didn't do anything wrong. So we're out here for them as well. You know, there's a lot that goes on in this world that people tend to just ignore. As long as my rent's paid, as long as my car payment's paid, I don't care what's going on. That's not me. I put myself in harm's way. I've been illegally detained, threatened with arrest. I've been physically attacked doing this, standing up for the Constitution of the United States. But you know what? I don't mind. Sometimes that's what it takes. And it's unfortunate, but then we've also had many, the vast majority are wonderful encounters. They really are. Where were we, the one that we just put up today?
Mesquite.
Mesquite. So we were up in Mesquite. We were at the city hall. They called the police on us for filming. The police officer got there. City manager came out. We wound up standing there for a half an hour having a brilliant conversation. And those guys are actually changing their policy and their rules and are going to initiate training and education for their employees and the police department to prevent a situation like that from happening again. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create positive change that makes the world a better place to live in. That's all. That's all it is. And I'm standing up for your rights. I'm standing up for your rights, all of you. I don't know if any of you guys are ex-military, but if you are, we thank you for your service, and you paid a big price for me being able to stand here and do this. You know, it really is. The Constitution of the United States, okay, that piece of paper is what separates this country from the rest of the world. And that's why we live the way we do. And that's why we have the freedoms that we have. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm willing to put myself in a position of harm's way and all that with my son to defend that. And that's all it is. And I'm not making it up. See, I have a year's history of videos online. And like I said, I'll give you my channel. It's a promise before I leave, no matter how this goes. Okay? And you'll look at my videos and you'll realize what I'm telling you is the truth. And part of what I'm doing here is, at this point now, is I just want you to realize, don't judge the book by the cover.
I wasn't judging.
There are good people
We were
out
not
there.
judging you, but our issue was is when you're filming staff and you're filming down into the check cashier box and stuff like
Filming
that.
down into the check cashier box?
Well, the filming down to where stuff is moved underneath the table. It's like that's a concern of ours. Is what's the purpose of it?
Right, and I get that. So then what you do is you approach me and you ask me.
Right.
You have security here, they can accompany you.
Right, but I believe that they were trying to, and it was more of a
No, this young lady came running in,
So that was our
half out of
concern.
breath, saying to me, "You can't film in here. What are you doing here? You got to get out of here." It's all on video, so you can
So,
smile all day, young
as
lady.
we-
I'm standing up for your rights as well.
As we were trying to talk to you about it, it was like, okay, tell me why I can't film. Tell me, and so it was, instead of going, okay, well, what's the issue, and not film and have a conversation.
So you're telling me I should have had the cordial demeanor that maybe you should have
Same
had?
thing.
Yeah, we all should.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think I was not being cordial, but if that was your perception, I mean, this is another reason. See, the camera, is an objective witness that tells the truth.
And that's fine.
So that's whatever's on this camera is exactly what happened, no matter what anybody. And you know how it is. Remember when we were kids in kindergarten? If something happens in this room right now, and there's 6 of us standing here, and then somebody takes us individually and interviews us, there's going to be 6 different stories of what happened. Right. So, that's the camera. Okay, the camera, you can have 9 cameras going. All 9 cameras are going to tell the same story. So this is why we film. And I think I said it to you. It's an exercise in rights. That's all it is. That's all it is. I went to a dentist's office.
So it wasn't to film the building, it was to see if you...
No, I said to you a few minutes... No, and I'm being completely honest
Is that
with
what
you.
it is?
No,
I mean, I'm just trying
I
to
told you,
understand.
first and foremost,
Okay.
I'm traveling the country with my son. We're on a mission to visit all 50 state capitals. So we've got 3 under our belt. We're taking monthly trips, and we just started doing this 3 months ago. So we went to Cheyenne 3 months ago. We were in Salt Lake City last month. And this month we're heading west. And that's what we do. You know? And why that would create this sort of a thing, honestly, like, you don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm here. I can't wrap my head around why what I'm doing would create this response. So we're both kind of in a quandary here, right? That's all it is. So at the end of the day, like I said, if I leave and you have a little bit better understanding of what I was trying to do, and I better understand where you were coming from, I call that a good day. Right? That's all it is. I don't think people communicate with each other enough. And I think there's become this perception in this country where somebody in a perceived position of authority barks an order out, you're supposed to just drop and follow it. And that's not the way the world works.
Authority, I think it was you were asking you to stop filming. I mean, it's one thing if you want to film architecture and stuff like
So
that.
your issue with me, her coming and asking me to stop filming, was that I questioned why. If I would have just bowed to her orders and did what she said, that would... So asking why is resisting? That sounds fascist and communist to me. What does that mean? It's like, that's the next thing you know, you're going to tell me that
But
3
you
people
didn't agree.
can't...
You said it was your right to film. So I can
it
say...
is. Oh, it still is.
But
Yeah.
I can say, you're making our staff uncomfortable.
And I left the
And
office.
and you're like, but it's my right.
But do you realize, and what I'm telling you is the truth, you'll see it on the video.
And that's fine.
I was the one that suggested to her that we walk out of the office so we didn't disturb the people in there trying to conduct business.
Okay.
So I didn't resist leaving. I just wanted to know why I was being asked not to record.
Okay.
And I think that's a very logical, common sense question. Right? Like I said before, if you were out on the street and I walked up to you and said, hey lady, you got to do this, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Why? You're not going to go, oh, okay, yes sir. Who does that?
I might.
Seriously?
If I was making something...
All right, drop and give me 20.
Well,
I'm kidding.
you know what I'm saying?
But you know what I'm saying. I think we both know what each other are saying. That's all. I definitely see a change in your demeanor since we've been having this conversation, and I think you probably see a little, we're getting along now. We're having a conversation. That's healthy. That's what I'm sure that's how you want your kids to behave and live their lives. You don't just react, knee-jerk reactions. That's what children do. That causes childlike problems. We as adults are supposed to know that we have to be better than that, right? Especially when you're working in the capacity of being a public employee. Yeah. It's a big responsibility to be a public employee. And you probably do a very good job at what you do. I don't know what that is because you won't introduce yourself and tell me what you do here, but I'm sure you probably do a nice job. I'm sure you're, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I'm sure you're a good person just trying to do what you think is right, but maybe I will cause you to think a little bit today because I was here. And you'll certainly give me cause to think. That's why they used to have the longhouses. People that the tribe and the elders would all get together and communicate and talk about things, and that's okay.
Right.
How does it say?
Yeah. Yeah, when I walked by, that's what I thought. Yes, it was. Yes.
And you'll find when you watch my videos, I'm going to make sure you know what my channel is. And when I leave, you'll watch my videos and you go, oh my God, they were a couple of nice guys. That's what you're going to wind up saying to yourself. And you're going to have to smile for me before I leave because I don't want to leave you upset.
This is just my face. I don't smile.
No, you smiled at me when I first came in. Yeah, you did. What do you mean you don't smile? We're going to change that. We're going to get you to be a smiling, happy guy by the time I leave here. You got to hang out with this guy more often. Nah, but it's all good, man. I understand where you guys are coming from. I just, Interested to find out where we're going to wind up. So have you had anybody come in here videoing before? Have you had? Am I catching somebody else's heat? Nobody's ever come in here and taken video before since you've been working here?
Yeah, they take pictures of our building, but they're not trying to record employees working in our treasurer's department where money gets handled.
No.
Yeah, nobody's done that.
No? Oh, good.
They be respectful of the building.
Oh, you don't think I'm being respectful?
Hey, you know, to me, this is just blown out of proportion.
Exactly.
We actually not to film.
I agree with you.
Just don't film, you know?
Well, no, that's not the way it works.
You know?
If they would have asked Miss Parks to sit on the back of the bus, should she have just sat on the back of the bus?
That's an apple, this is an orange.
No, it's not. It's all about your civil rights, man. No, it's not an apple and an orange.
Yeah.
It's real. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
And you know, just because you say it, so it don't mean it is.
Well, just because you say so, don't mean it is either.
I know that.
Part of the reason that we go into the offices and not just out here in the lobby is because public government transparency and government accountability is a huge thing. There's a lot of waste, there's a lot of misuse, there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of abuse of power, there's a lot of abuse of funds. You want to talk about money getting wasted and money issues. So that's why we do what we do. That's as simple as that. And by now, I definitely would have been gone. I would have been out of here. I'm getting hungry. I would have been sitting somewhere having lunch.
Yeah, so you can stay out here in the public areas. You just can't go back here by the church.
Well, but that's the thing. I want if you guys are going to, and it's not just the treasurer's office. Like what I do is, and you'll see my videos. Okay, I'll go into the mayor's office, introduce myself.
Okay.
I go into the recorder's office. I'll go into the clerk's office. The town we were at, that we put that video up again today, I can't remember the name. Mesquite. So Mesquite, the city clerk, Tracy, was wonderful. I had a conversation with her for 15, 20 minutes. We had a great conversation. So it's not just the treasurer's office. We go into all, I probably would have wound up in your office. I came in and said, hi, my name's Jason. I'm traveling with my son, Ben. May I ask your name and what you do here? And that's the kind of thing, have a little, anything interesting you think we should see? Okay, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
And that's how we hope it goes. And that's how it should go at a government city center.
Yeah, we just don't think this is restricted, so you
It's not restricted, and that's what I want you to learn.
well, but that's what I'm being told. So if you want to stay out here, that's fine, but they can't.
Who's telling you that, if you don't mind me asking?
The DA's office.
The DA's office is telling you that the treasurer's...
Area is restricted access, so you can't go up there and you can't.
Do they want to cite a statute? And
Again,
if they can give me a statute, I'll
I'm
leave.
not the DA's office or whatever, but that's if you want to film out here, that's fine. You have every right to, but the treasurer's office is restricted access.
So other offices in the building too, or just the treasurer's office?
I didn't get into those conversations.
Well, see, this is what we need to figure out.
So,
Because it is a tricky situation.
oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure you know.
And if somebody has the right to come in and do something, you want to allow them to do that. And if they don't have a right to do something, you want to prevent them from doing it. So there needs to be that clear delineation of what's right and what's not. And as far as I can tell, there's nobody here that can really tell me for sure exactly what's right and what's
you
not.
probably know the laws better than.
Maybe not in Nevada. I'm from Colorado, so I do know the Colorado. If we were in Colorado right now, I tell you I absolutely do. Maybe not in Nevada. I don't know. But if the DA, I'll tell you what I will tell you is if the DA told you that that's a restricted area, I can tell you that that's bad information. That's not the truth.
I mean, filming down where the cash boxes are.
Because like here, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not going in there. But like I'm not going over there. If I stay here and I'm filming in that direction, you're gonna tell me that's.
Again,
like where does the point?
I have no idea yet. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So where's the point that it becomes an issue? Because here it can't be an issue. You know, even if I'm aiming this way, my camera's very wide angle, it's going that way. So it can't be an issue me standing here. So where's that line? Where does it become an issue? You don't know. So let's find out. That's why I'm here. And it would make your life easier. If you're going to, first, I think the first rule of law enforcement is you have to know what the law is. You can't enforce something that you don't know, right? So it's very easy for you to say, you know what? You kind of caught us with our pants down here today, and I don't really know what the rules are. I just don't feel comfortable with you going back there, so I'm going to look into it and find out if I can prevent you from doing that because I don't like it. That would make more sense to me than what you're saying. You ever watch Judge Judy? Judge Judy's got a great line.
I don't usually have the time.
Neither do I, but I've seen her once in a while, and she always says the truth makes sense. So, things that aren't true tend not to make much sense. Truth tends to make sense. How are you, sir? My name's Jason.
Jason. Randy.
Randy, nice to meet you. Can I ask what you do here?
Assistant County Manager.
Assistant County Manager. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
See how easy that is? So do you have any questions for me, Randy? Anything you can tell us as far as how you feel about taking video and photographs in a public building?
That's allowed, that's fine.
Okay.
We have certain areas that wouldn't be.
Are those areas marked? Or are people just supposed to know that?
No, it's not marked.
So how would anybody know that they're not supposed to take?
But if you encroach too close, we will let you know.
Right, and okay, so then when that happens, are you enforcing policy or law?
Policy.
Policy, right. So policy is for your employees. I didn't sign that contract.
Safety for employees.
I understand that.
We get to keep this building secure and safe.
Sure you do, and I would expect you to.
We had an incident yesterday, so we're a little more cautious right now.
Oh, see, and this is what I was just asking you guys if there was any incidents. So that would, so I understand that and I appreciate it.
I sign anything that allows you to take this?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Nevada's a one-party consent state. You don't have to sign anything.
Okay.
We're in public. There is no expectation of privacy in public. Now, if you, well, let me just finish what I'm saying. If you were not a public employee and you asked me not to film you, I might honor that request. But you're a public employee, sir. You guys need to get it together, man. This is not the way to behave when you're running local government. Seriously, it's not. You know what? At this point, I don't even think it's funny anymore. That's your assistant county manager. The way he just walked away from me and did that's a disgrace. How could you be proud of that? Seriously, how could you possibly be proud of that? That's a disgrace. You're going to see how other municipalities handle the same situation, and you're going to feel badly about what happened here today.
Thank you. Very well. Have a good day, gentlemen.
The assistant county manager. You guys need to know the law. He just asked me if he has to sign something to give me permission to take video.
I could be honest, we probably don't have this happen too often where we have.
So wouldn't it be a good thing? Wouldn't you see this as an opportunity to learn something? And as well as myself, I'm here to educate myself. I don't know it all. And my grandfather had a great line. He always used to say, "You learn something old every day because it's only new to you." Right? So I'm here to learn something old. And maybe you can learn something old. Maybe we can all walk away better people. That's what I said to you 15 minutes ago. That's what my point is. I'm not here to cause anybody any angst. We're not a threat to the safety of any of your people here. I'm not looking to rob your cash drawer. Do you think somebody that was looking to rob your cash drawer is going to come in and videotape the office in broad daylight in the middle of the day? I'm not trying to secret myself.
We've had things happen in broad daylight.
So what happened yesterday?
I don't have all the reports, but it happened at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
What was, very general.
I don't know. An assault?
An assault on a staff member? Wow. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, do I have the details? No. But everybody's concerned.
And that makes sense to me. I understand that.
So, again, do I know all the laws and this, that, and the other? But whenever people are uneasy, we have to respond in some way.
But see, then what tends to happen is like, let's say, so that something happened yesterday. So then I come in today and you get nervous, and then somebody comes in tomorrow and that kind of thing seems to just keep growing and growing, and it fosters this feeling of insecurity and fear. And that's the state that this country's in. If I have to hear one more person say to me in this day and age and talk about terrorism, World War II was terrorism. When the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor, that was terrorism. It's been going on forever. We had a civil war.
I know.
See, what I'd love to do is get on a conference call with the district attorney she spoke to and set them straight. Because they're giving bad information. And then what that does is put you guys in a position of doing something you might not want to do or need to do. And I didn't know you had an incident here yesterday. I had no idea about that, and I'm sorry to hear that happened.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Is there any way that you would be interested in calling the district attorney's office and maybe having a little conference call with them?
I'm not interested in that. I mean, what,
Because then we
what
could,
purpose?
to find out what the real deal is here and find out what the parameters are and how you should proceed properly so that you don't create a liability for your
Right, and I
municipality.
think that that's something that obviously with this.
Well, the police don't know the law either, so they're
Right,
going to
but-
show up and just operate from whatever they
Right,
believe.
but I mean, I'm sure based on this, there will probably be internal discussions over the next week or a few weeks to figure out, you know, if we need to post signage or do whatever. I mean, you bring up good points.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But as long as, just please do me a favor and make sure that that signage, okay, is in line with
No.
the Constitution of the United
Absolutely,
States.
and they would direct us in other, in
Well, you'd be surprised. Some people do. Yeah.
But not intentionally.
I've said it 3 times, and I'm really not trying to blow any sunshine up your skirt here, like they say, but I really think you're probably a very nice person. And I think you have all the best intentions.
Absolutely.
Okay, but my father also used to say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So you got to be careful what you do. You really do.
I understand.
And we're here.
None of us are perfect.
No, I'm the furthest thing from perfect there is on the face of the earth. I don't ever want to be perfect. That's boring.
But I'm
Perfect's
sure
boring.
based on this situation, there will be learning lessons.
Good. Well, that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
And you know what those learning lessons will produce? A new protocol which might avoid situations that you don't want to be in and other people don't want to be in. It might,
You're absolutely
yeah,
right.
and that's all it is.
You're
And I don't need the credit for that. I'm not looking to pat myself on the back. I'm not going to be the one to make the change and make the policies. But if I inspired something here today, that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you've inspired me to think about how I conduct myself, how I behave, how I interact with people, and I'm always trying to better myself. So that's, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, if we all walk away better people, smiles on our faces and a handshake, then that's an awesome day. Yeah, that's all it is. And I want my son, you know, I'm not going to live forever. This kid's got to know how to handle himself in this world.
I agree. That's what we're here for.
That's it. Yeah. And I'm sorry you had an incident here yesterday. I really, honestly, had no idea about it. There's terrible things going on in the
That's
world.
what we've been dealing with.
Yeah. I hope they didn't have a camera, because then they were making me look bad. No, but it's a shame. It really is. But then see, what happens is sometimes police officers get a phone call that there's a disturbance of the kid. Now, this, you know, basically you guys, not Metro, but if let's say the sheriff showed up, you're their employer. So of course they're going to show up gung-ho to defend their employer and take care of business and do what they got to do. And this is where you get into situations where there's excessive force and there's things done. It happens every day on the news, man. You got to watch the news. It really does. Do you realize, seriously, do you know how many innocent people are sitting in jail right now that never did anything wrong? Because somebody exaggerated something or somebody claimed something they didn't do or somebody told the police officer something that they shouldn't have said. And that could lead to a disaster for somebody's life, and that's not fair or nice, you know? I wouldn't put you in that position. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be today, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, I don't know if it's going to be next week, but I think at some point the realization will come where this was a fruitful visit. For all of us. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe, even when this is what I teach my son, something terrible will happen in life, okay? 6 months down the road, you look back and you go, you know what, thank God that happened, because that led to this. So, if that winds up being the situation, that makes my day. I don't want people to get the cops called on them unless they deserve it. You know? But I understand what your concerns are. I'm not trying to negate that at all. I get your concerns, especially that there was an incident here yesterday. I get that 100%. But, you know, at the same time, it's a scary thing for us all to get jaded. You know, you don't want to just... Well, or like every time you see something that you don't understand or everything that's out of place a little bit to get upset and nervous about it. Maybe it's not upsetting, maybe it's not.
But it's our job to be aware of the surroundings and to kind of observe. I mean, that's what
well, these are your first line of defense. These guys should have approached me and had a conversation, and if that didn't go anywhere, then they call you.
But, you know, that's where, I mean, each of us need to have where the other shoe. You know, because...
Sure, but it's also, like I said to you, and I promise you that's the truth, and you'll find out eventually, but I have never sued anybody in 50 years, and I will not. I'd rather travel the country with my son than spend my life in a courtroom, okay? But the behavior that was exhibited today here, if it went any further, could possibly become a serious liability for the municipality, and you don't want to create that.
It's never the goal.
You don't want to violate anybody's rights. You don't want your rights violated.
We always try to do the right thing.
Huh? Yeah. Would you be willing to give me the name of the DA you spoke to, so maybe I can call them at another time?
I didn't speak to the DA.
Oh, you didn't? But somebody spoke to them today about this particular situation?
We just needed to know where filming was allowed.
But that's what I'm saying. So about this situation,
Per the DA's office, they're allowed to film.
Allowed to film what?
Out in the rotunda, public areas, but not near the treasurer's office, or not, that's a restricted area. But you bring up a good point. If it's a restricted area, we need to post it.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's learning lessons here for us. And so that is something.
Well, like I said, and I'm not trying to come across that way because it's a learning experience for me, and it's a learning experience for my son. It's a learning experience for all of us.
We will continue to work with, our internal departments to identify.
To improve the situation. Yeah. That's all. That's great. That's great. And like I said before, as long as you do that in a way that's constitutional and doesn't violate anybody's situation, that's all we can ask for. Because you do need to make sure that your folks are safe here.
Absolutely.
But not at the jeopardy of someone's rights. Right. So there's a way to make that a win-win situation. You could plan a perfect picnic, but you can't predict the weather. So things happen. You know what I mean? But you can be as vigilant as you can be, and you can, you do things properly, and you try to find out. I always just think it's a good idea to find out what's going on before I react. When he was a little kid, he came home from school. I got a phone call from the school. Your son did this today. I didn't just jump all over him when he walked in the door. Tell me your side. What happened? Maybe the teacher was upset about something else and told me a story. I don't know. Who knows? So I just tend to be inquisitive. I tend to want to have as much of the facts and information in front of me as I can before I react or make a decision. What I was going to say was, I'll walk around and stay in these areas until the police get here so we can straighten it out with them. But can you at least just tell me your first name so that way if somebody says anything, okay, so I can say I was downstairs with Lisa. Okay, great. All right, perfect. So so the treasurer's office is off limits, everything else is fine.
Just don't film. Well, and stay in the public areas, because I can tell you the employees will get very nervous as you're walking through the building and then you start filming back there because of the incidents. They're trying to calm employees down.
All right, well if that's the case, then I'll just wait.
So if you can if you want to do architecture and stuff like that, that's fine. But when going through the offices and stuff like that, and
well, you know what the other part of it is,
and that's concerning to them.
Because remember I told you the first and foremost priority of what we do is I'm traveling with my son.
Just a second, I'm sorry.
Hi, how are you? See, this lady's very neat and professional, looks better than all of you.
Thank you.
What's your name, dear?
Compliment, Angela.
Angela, my name's Jason.
Right.
Pleasure to meet you. This is my son, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ben. I like those cameras. What
Thanks.
kind of cameras?
This is a Hero 7 GoPro.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Angela. We appreciate it. The women always know best. That's why I listen to my wife.
I'm gonna go to the water fountain real quick. It's hot in here.
Yeah, I'll go to the water fountain. Going to that water fountain again.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's a good thing there's nothing going on. I don't know what these people will do. This is why you have to take care of yourself. Wait for the police. Look, what they call half an hour ago?
Must have been, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming to save the day, all right. Take care of yourselves, folks. This took so long, I have to change batteries. That never happens.
Have a good weekend, Angela.
All right, you too.
Yeah, Angela, you do have a good weekend. Angela's a sweetheart. Like Johnny Carson used to say, and we're back. While we're waiting, do you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper and I'll tell you what my channel name is? You'll want to write it down because it's it's the name of the village in New York I'm from, and it's an old Indian name. And I don't always give everybody my information, so I must like it. It's Amagansett, A-M-A-G-A-N.
G-A-N?
Yep, S-E-T-T. Second word is press.
Dot press or just press?
No, on YouTube it's just 2 words, Amagansett Press. So just go to YouTube, type that in. By the time you get to A-M-A-G, I'll pop up.
Okay.
And Amagansett is the village I'm from in New York, and it actually means, it's an Indian word, a Montauk Indians. It means place of good water.
Oh, nice.
So you'll get to see what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you might get some tips and pointers from some of the folks in other municipalities on how they handle the situation. It might be good for your meetings and training or whatever you plan to do as far as that's concerned. And it's very important.
It doesn't happen very often.
No,
Right.
no, but you know what? But there's more and more people doing what we do every day, and it's a there's tens of thousands of people all over the country.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a big movement.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been doing this for a year, and my channel's got 20 million views. Yeah, so we do all right. I mean, I'm not bragging or complaining, but it is what it is, and it's just and I'm glad that when I was we were kids, there was no internet. I had 2 snowy channels on the TV. There was nothing to watch. But it's good to be able to have that these days where you can get the information out. Again, like everything else in life, pluses and minuses, but we want to take advantage of the pluses and, disseminate the information to people out there. Are you from Las Vegas?
Not originally.
No? Seems like very few are. So you don't have one of those cool plates on your car? Born in Vegas?
Oh, no.
No? Those are very cool. The old ones that had like the Welcome to Las Vegas sign on them were nice, but these are very cool looking plates. Yeah. Yeah, we actually moved to, I spent 15 years in New York, and we just moved to Colorado about 8 months ago. So,
Nice place to live.
it is. Yeah. What do they say? What happens in Colorado stays in your system for 30 days?
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
I've not heard that one.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I traded sayings with a guy in Moab. He told me because they have a lot of Colorado people come over in the spring for like the Jeep runs and the rock crawling and all that kind of stuff. So he said, it's spring in Moab when the license plates turn green. So I thought that was kind of cute too. And I just got to say, I'm really, really glad that there's nothing going on here because you guys would be in a lurch. What would you do?
No, and the thing is like they said, you have the right to film. I just ask that you don't, because the staff walking through and filming, if you walk down the hallways and you're filming back into those areas that aren't like architectural in nature or whatever, it does make people uncomfortable.
A lot of things make people uncomfortable.
I understand, but I mean, you just take into considerations what the stuff that's kind of...
Well, yes, and I agree with you, but there's 2 ways to look at that. So either you bolster that fear and try to keep everybody from doing anything that would make anybody nervous, or educate the staff to not be nervous.
But
so there's 2 approaches.
Right.
Right?
But it's
I don't want my son to walk around nervous.
Everything's fresh.
I told you, I get that.
Yeah, right. So when you walk into certain areas where there's no, like, public, you know what I'm saying? It's
all right, so let me ask you this then. If I had shown up last week before this incident yesterday happened, you might not have even had an issue?
If you would have been in the treasurer's office and filming back, we probably would have.
Where did they tell you I was filming, or where did you see me filming? Because I
did not see you. I heard that you were filming back in the truck.
What I did was I went in.
And down near the lights.
That's not true.
Okay.
What I did was I went in there and I went all the way to the right, and I was in the corner closest to this way, and I was standing there like this. I was going to take a picture and just kind of get like trying to frame the picture, and she walked in.
So, I mean, just like you said, you can film all the open areas and whatever.
I don't necessarily want to go film the treasurer's office, but I really want you to know that if I wanted to, I can.
Well, and that's where, based on what you're saying, that is something that we will talk to the DA's office. And again, I'm not a lawyer.
Neither am I.
So, again, I just, that's
another issue that I have. And I've had a lot of experience with law enforcement, and I can tell you honestly, unless you get a very senior officer here, most police officers are not very learned on what the rules are. put it this way, it takes 2 years to go to cosmetology school and graduate. It takes 6 months to become a police officer.
So anyway, I mean, I don't want to hold you guys up, because I mean, it could be hours. I mean, if you want to continue to...
So does that mean you guys canceled the call? What's really going on?
Again,
because how could they, if the county office calls and says, we have an issue here, get over here, they could just take hours to show up?
There's times, it depends on their workload and what they're dealing with and the level of...
Because my issue is I can't leave here having been bullied out of somewhere that I'm allowed to be. That's what my problem is. So if you said to me, listen, now that I know what you guys are doing, if that's all you're doing, go ahead and knock yourselves out and see you later. But I would have to tell you that if I want to go into the county recorder's office and walk in and say, hi, my name's Jason, I'm traveling with my son, can I ask your name? Oh, my name's Barbara, nice to meet you, Barbara, can you tell us where's a good place to have dinner, a little casual conversation, have a great day, bye. So to tell me I can't do that is not correct.
That's, might be something that we just need to educate staff on as well, educate ourselves on it.
I'll give you an opportunity to do that. Do you want to walk around with us?
No, I'm supposed to be in meetings.
Oh.
But the thing is it's like...
Well, this is an opportunity for growth, and growth's never comfortable.
Right.
When the poor little lobster has to leave his shell, it hurts, but he gets a nice new brand new one. Okay. But you can understand why I asked, because that would be good. Because then if I walked into the Treasury office and I'm with Lisa, nobody's going to get nervous. He's with Lisa. So that could, and then they see that it's okay because that's what you're doing, and then you have a chance to explain that to them. But if you choose not to do that, that's your choice. I just feel like we should figure it out before I leave. And like I said,
figure what out, though? I mean, I don't know what you're looking for.
Because I'll tell you what, if I was one of those people that was looking for a reaction or looking to cause a problem, I could walk right back into that treasurer's office right now, which is perfectly legal. There is no code, there is no statute, there is nothing that prevents me from doing that, and there would be nothing you could do about it. The police would show up and there'd be nothing they could do about it, unless they wanted to violate my rights. Okay, and then I would have a lawsuit on my hands. But I already told you that's not me. I don't do that. So rather than walk back in there and handle it that way, from the way I operate, I would rather wait for the police to get here and see how they handle it. Because there's a chance they might say to you, hey, listen, it's a public area, he's got within his rights.
What are you trying, but is that what you're trying to achieve, I guess, for this, of what you do for your channel? Is that what you're trying to do, is to see how people respond to you?
Oh, absolutely.
And
we want to find the good ones just as much as we want to find the bad.
So you just, that's what the goal is to push it to where, so you can see what types of responses you get.
My goal, is to go into a publicly accessible area of a public building and conduct an activity which is not only lawful, but is constitutionally protected, and see if the folks in that municipality are honoring and respecting my First Amendment right to do what I'm doing, or if they're willing to go ahead and violate that, throw me out of the building or tell me I can't film. Now, other guys, if you threw them out and told them they can't film, would file a lawsuit. I would just leave, put that on the internet, and let everybody see how the city of Las Vegas chooses to handle their tourism. That's up to you. But that's what we do. But it's very serious stuff. The Constitution, like I said to you before, a piece of paper separates this country from the rest of the world. Without that piece of paper, we're gone. We're doomed. We're in Korea. And I don't want to be in North Korea. I don't want to live like that. I enjoy my freedoms. I enjoy my rights. I think we all do. And I appreciate and value your rights and honor your rights, as I want everyone to do back to me. That's all. Now, after this discussion, if you had, you have your creep factor, and if you said, man, this guy's a little creepy, I don't believe this BS story he's telling me, I think he's up to something else, I don't want you in that all. But after this conversation, if you get the sense that what I'm telling you is the truth and you feel better about it and that's what it is, and you do know that I'm within my rights to do what I'm doing, then you say, you know what, go ahead, knock yourself out. That's all. But that's your call. Yeah.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
But if go ahead, knock yourself out to me means that I'm going to go into all areas that are not restricted. If it's marked restricted, if there's a little keypad thing on the door, if it says private, we're in a meeting, anything, I respect that. But if it's wide open to the public, I want to go in there and check it out. and say hello and introduce. I was actually going to get in line is what I was going to do after I took my picture. Get up to the front and just whatever clerk happened to be helping me, I was just going to say, may I ask what your name is and what you do here? My name's Jason, and introduce myself, have a little cordial conversation for a minute and leave. That's all it is. And then the city or the county of Clark County honored my constitutional rights, upheld those rights, and I can walk away and say this place was a pass, it was a wonderful experience. Otherwise I have to go outside and say, well, they just violated my rights and didn't let me go in where I was allowed to go.
And that's not our intent.
No, and I don't think it is.
That never is.
No, I don't think it is. I told you, I think you're just being a good person. I think you're protecting your building, you're protecting your staff. That's all.
So you're gonna be back tonight?
So,
No, go
you tell
ahead
me how to
and start
proceed.
walking, and if I get different direction, I'll come find you.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. All right, Lisa. And I appreciate you. I respect what you're doing. I really, and we thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So this is part of the Black History Month display that we were looking at before.
I hope Metro's bringing lunch by the time they get here.
Why, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll take long once they get here if they show up. I don't know if they're actually here for us, so we'll find out. Oh, wow. This is a memorial to remember the victims of the Group 91 Harvest Music Festival back in 2017. So we certainly pay our respects to those folks.
The site is recognized as a national landmark for outstanding landscape architecture.
Oh, there's another one over here. There's 3 of them. I didn't even see this.
Oh, you didn't see this one?
No. It's a lot of backlight here in the scene.
Yeah, you gotta get up close. A lot of glare.
This is cool. Did you see this one?
Yeah.
Look, it's titled My Daddy Was a Soldier. That's very cool. Your daddy's a soldier too, kid. You just don't have a uniform on. That's very cool. Well, do you think this would be Miss Parks?
Yeah.
I think this is Miss Rosa Parks right here. And we were just talking about much respect goes out to her. She was a true pioneer in what she did. She was the original auditor. Kudos to you, Miss Parks. May you rest in peace. Oh, this is a nice view. It's beautiful. Do you see the pyramid he was talking about? Oh yeah, it's over there, see it? All right. We'll have to check that out when we go outside. This is, what office is this? Risk Management, Accounts Payable. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Great, thanks.
Good. We're just a couple of pesky tourists in Las Vegas for the first time.
Oh, nice.
My name's Jason. This is my son, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? Can I just ask what your first name is and what you do here?
I can't. Sorry.
You can't tell me what how about not your
Did you
name?
want me to get a manager for you?
Oh, we were just actually with Lisa out in the hallway. She knows we're here.
Okay.
Security knows we're here. Lisa knows we're here. We just had a long, cordial conversation with those folks. But if you need to call them,
Battery.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, they're here. She's on her way up.
Up? Aren't we on the first floor?
From the back.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I didn't need to speak to Lisa. We just spoke to her. So I understand you don't want to give me your name or anything. Is there anything you can tell us about your building or anything about Las Vegas that you think we should be aware of? No? No? All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, young lady.
You too.
Thank you and appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Take care. Pueblo dining room. Oh, there's the, let's go outside and look at that real quick.
Cool.
You will need your badge to come back through this door, so we'll have to go back in through the front. That's all right, though. Let's check out what's going on here.
Sure.
Hello. You don't need your badge. I got the door for you. Have a good day. So this is really beautiful architecture here. And all this local red stone. Oh, look at this. Clark County Desert Tortoise Habitat.
That's cool.
Where is the little guy? He's probably in his house.
Let's see if I could.
Yeah, zoom in there, see if you see him. That's cool. I didn't know there was a little mini Luxor here. No. Definitely, one or the other. Let me pretend I'm on my phone and ignore you. This is cool, right? Seems like Lisa came around a little bit, but I don't know. I guess she could tell us to go ahead and take our video, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back around the front, go back inside, check out a couple of offices, and wrap it up. Yes?
Yeah.
Hey, cool. I wonder if they have concerts or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's just like public speaking for officials or meetings, town meeting, I don't know, county meeting. But this is cool, man. It's a great shot. Look at the size of that beam up on the top.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Las Vegas, there is no expense on their building.
How are you guys doing?
Good. I'm looking for a couple of guys with cameras. If you see them around by any chance? How are you?
Good, I'm Officer Foster.
Foster, can you get your badge number, sir?
Yeah, it's 16314.
1613. And you, sir?
I'm Officer Belisle, P number 16627.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. My name is Jason. This is my son, Ben.
Okay.
How may we help you?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Okay, we got a call saying you guys were inside.
It took you long enough to get here. I'm glad they weren't in trouble.
No. But if anything else, sir, like anything, you're good to film as long as as long as you got business attending here. You're allowed to do what you need to do.
Well, and I'll tell you what, my business is filming.
Okay.
That's the business. So.
Okay.
The only issue that we had here was we're very aware, this is a First Amendment audit. I'm sure you're aware of that, okay? So we're very aware of restricted areas. We know where we're allowed to go, where we're not allowed to go, and we make very sure we don't cross those lines. So we were in the treasurer's office. One of the security guards came in telling us we couldn't film in there, we had to leave, blah, blah, blah. So we walked out to the security desk, continued the conversation there, and then you fine gentleman would call. And that's what was going on. That's all it was. So the reason that I stuck around and waited for you was A, I don't leave when somebody calls the police on me. I'm not going to make you chase me down and find me if that's what you're so inclined to do. And the other thing is I just want these folks to understand that as long as we don't go into any restricted areas and we're not creating a disturbance, anywhere that I'm legally allowed to go in this building, I'm also allowed to film. Correct?
You're totally right. You have every right to go where you want and film, as long as obviously it's not people's important documents, stuff like that. But if you don't have any business to conduct here, because this is a government building, people come here first.
Well, I do. I told you my business is.
Right, but they don't do.
I'm a member of the press, and this is what
I understand, but they don't do any filming here.
What do you mean they don't do any filming?
They don't deal. They're not like a news camera crew here or anything. They deal with courts and whatnot. And if your camera has nothing
Well, I
to
wouldn't
do
go into
with
a
that-
courtroom.
I know, but if it has nothing to do with that, then they have every right to say, hey, you need to leave.
No, they don't, actually. You're wrong about
Because
that.
if you have...
You might want to call a sergeant and check on that, because that's not the fact.
That's fine, my sergeant's on his way.
Okay, and I'm not trying to give you a hard
I
time. We're
know.
just having a healthy
But
conversation.
if they feel like you're not here for anything other than to videotape, they don't think you're conducting business here for whatever reason they feel like.
That's an opinion.
So it is.
But it's not a law, and you're a law enforcement officer. You're not an opinion enforcement officer.
You're right.
Right, so... I'm not trying to I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but
Yeah,
what we
like
do
I
is,
said, you have every right
I was
to
very
videotape.
forthcoming with you when I came out, and I told you this is a First Amendment
right.
audit. I'm not making up a story to you.
No, I totally understand.
So, my point is to exercise my rights.
Which you're allowed to, because you're out here. This is
Inside as
perfect.
well.
You're out in the public, you're filming.
Right.
I think the main issue is if they have like actual personalized documents in there and you're filming.
No, because I'll tell you.
Hey, listen, don't. You know, the thing is, if they have personalized documents, which is like PII, personal identifying information, they don't want filming crews in there because it's going to be actual people's filming documents. Now, if that's not the case, it's a different story. But I think that's the problem that they're having here.
All right, well, first of all, that's not the problem, because I had a very long conversation with Lisa, I'm not sure what her position is because she wouldn't tell me. But it's not about filming people's private information, because when you're in public, there is no expectation of privacy. That's the law. That's the way it works. So the onus is on them to protect people's privacy. Now, I'm not here to film anybody's private information. I can care less about that. That's not my interest, okay? What we're here to do is exactly what I told you I'm doing. Rights are like muscles, and if you don't exercise them, they go away. Okay, so we're just here. This is an exercise of rights. That's all it is. I can tell you're ex-military by the way you're standing there.
I'm not ex-military.
You're not? Okay. Well, you give off that. Are you ex-military?
Yep.
All right. So first of all, thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you risked and sacrificed a lot so that I can exercise my Constitution. Because this is not only legal. Let's take it a step further and acknowledge the fact that it's a constitutionally protected activity.
Yes.
Right. So that's all we're doing. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. No nefarious activity. No ill will. No ill intent. That's all it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, really at this point, like anything, I'm going to talk to my sergeant, and then we'll discuss from there.
And then the way the conversation ended with Lisa, who I guess is in some sort of an official capacity here, she told me to go ahead and film. She said, no, just go ahead and film, and if I get any information that's different, then anything changes, I'll come find you in the building and let you know. Okay. So we've also gotten her permission, which I don't need, but we did get that. Okay. So that's all. I think she kind of regretted calling you guys after we had a conversation for 15 to 20 minutes and she got a sense of what we're doing and who we are. Yeah. Because and I said the same thing to her. There are guys out there that do these First Amendment audits looking for a problem, looking to instigate a reaction from you guys, looking to file lawsuits against the municipality. I'm sick of hearing myself saying it, but I'm 50 years old. I've never sued anybody in my life, never been charged with a crime, and that's not what I'm all about. Number one, I'm traveling the country with my son.
Right.
And we're making memories and we're spending
Where are
time
you guys
together.
from?
Originally New York, but we live in Denver now.
Okay.
So that's the main priority of what I'm doing. Secondary is we are out defending the Constitution of the United States and standing up for everybody's rights.
I like it.
That's all it is. So you would understand why if somebody asks me to leave an office or do something that is in violation of those rights when I'm doing nothing wrong and I'm not violating the law, you would understand where my resistance would come from.
I understand that.
Right. So that's all it is.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I even gave Lisa my channel name so she could take a look at my videos and see what we do. We're completely polar opposite of most of the guys that do this kind of stuff. I like to leave. The other thing is, as far as you're concerned, you're very aware that there's a big divide in this country between law enforcement and the citizenry these days. And that divide's growing every day. Yeah. There's a mistrust. So we're trying to close that gap. And the way we try to do that is by dialogue and open communication. So hopefully at the end of the day when I leave here, I shake hands with everybody, including this nice gentleman. He's got a beautiful smile. And we shake hands, we understand each other. I get where you're coming from. You maybe understand what I'm doing a little bit more. It gives us cause to think, and we all walk away being better men, better people. And that's a good day to me.
I understand that.
That's all it is. It's the same thing I said to them inside. So what I'm going to do is, because we actually stood there for probably about an hour waiting for you guys to show up. I'm going to go back in. I'm just going to go through real quick with my son. We'll finish up what we're doing. We'll be out of your hair.
Okay.
That's it. And if you need to find me, I'll be walking around with this 2-foot stick and my green shirt on, and you'll find me, and you can come ask me anything or tell me anything you want to tell me. All right?
All right.
But I appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you too.
Yep.
Hey, Luke, where you going?
I'm going to talk to them to figure out what's the issue.
See how that goes. My old friend Dave, meet again. How are you?
Is this over here? Or?
No, you keep going straight. I'll show you.
Thank you very much.
She's up
I
on
was just trying to figure out the issue because
She's like in the rotunda by the main security desk. Yeah, no problem.
Because what's on there? Personally, this is First Amendment. I'm just trying to figure out what they're telling me, and then I'm trying to verify because personally, this is all First Amendment.
Well, your whole thing is you just want to make sure I haven't violated the law.
Exactly.
And if I haven't violated the law, you and I basically have nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
So there we go. Other than on a friendly basis, because you seem like a nice. Now we're just going to see if you uphold your oath and uphold my right. And if you do that, then you're a really nice guy.
Well, if it's all First Amendment open to the public, that's all it is. It's open to the public.
That's all it is.
So I hadn't seen it. That's why I was just.
Okay. So this is where the action all took place.
How you doing, sir? Good. How are you? I'm Officer Bilal. So what's going on? I need to talk to someone like Lisa or someone that's in charge because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the filming or why they're not allowed to film.
Okay,
Because the thing is I just want to verify because I feel like this is.
I'm still walking through the order.
Oh, no, of course, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be really bad and get a soda. How much is it?
Get me one too. I'm so
How much is
thirsty.
it?
I think you have to put in the number and it'll tell you.
Oh, pay with cash or credit. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. And I borrow those too.
Okay, I can understand that.
Who's telling me I filmed over the counter? That's not
Don't worry, man.
Oh, I'm not. You can tell I'm not.
Yes. Just hold on. I'm going to talk to Lisa and then we'll squash this real quick.
Okay. Sounds good. How you making out today?
Could be better.
Yeah. Could be worse. Huh? I didn't think we were going to be here this long. Should have had lunch first.
Unfortunately, we get called out for stuff like this.
Well, that's what I said to them when they called you. I said, it's a waste of resources, and I'm sure these guys, I said, I know there was something went on at Nordstrom's today, and I was like, you guys have other stuff to do.
We have like 10, 15 calls pending right now.
Wow.
It's been a busy day for us.
So I'm sure you want to knock this one out of the park as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
too, right? I'm with you. I'll do anything I can to assist you with that.
Okay. That's what it is. Yeah. I understand that completely. All right, that makes sense.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm off people out.
Hi, good kid. Sorry about that. How you doing today? Good. How are you
The main concern is that over like you didn't want to like the PII information being on.
Yeah, just from what I understood. I mean, I wasn't here. I didn't see it myself.
Okay.
You know, because I was standing over there. From what I understood, is they were filming, and again, I got it where they were filming down into the cash areas where they, and so that was the concern. But from what he said is once they asked, or whether he asked or whatever, to move away from that area, it was fine. And I was trying to explain it makes staff uncomfortable.
Okay.
And he said, you know, it's his right to do that. And I
Yes.
said respectfully, you know, it does make our team uncomfortable. There's been an incident here. We talked about that.
Yeah, which I told you I appreciated.
Right. So again, we know he can be out and do it, but it's when, you know.
I understand.
Right.
And then,
so it wasn't.
well, I understand. So like anything, like I know where your concern's coming from too, but also he is in a public building
Right.
and it's
And
his
we
First Amendment right to film in here.
Right.
I would just say maybe, the screens, if you're having more problems with it, like if you feel like it's nervous.
No, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Now that you've established that, I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
going to stick
free.
around anymore. Now that we've established that I'm
Well,
within
and what
my
I
rights.
told him is I said, you know, it was an educational experience for us as well.
Yeah,
And
so it's all-
we'll work with,
Yep, so like anything, it's all First Amendment. They're well within their right to do so. It's just maybe like anything, it obviously makes people nervous, but at the same time,
Right.
it's not a crime. So I hope you have a better day.
yeah,
okay?
no, it's
Yeah, okay.
And again, I'm sorry. I know you guys have 15 calls hanging on there. So thank you for your service. We appreciate
we
you.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
You guys have a good night.
Yep. Sorry about the beginning.
Not at all.
I was kind of, I kind of got the mixed story, but you're well within your
Well,
rights.
yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
You be safe too, sir.
All right.
And that's all it is. All right, Lisa.
All right.
I appreciate you very
Joy.
much.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry we took up an hour and a half of your afternoon, but hopefully it was a fruitful visit.
Yeah,
It was worth it
yeah,
for you.
no, it is.
All right, good.
Yeah, so, yeah.
All right. And I thank you. I really do thank you very much. And I think it came around, and I think I think we had a meeting in the minds, and we can do that handshake and smile thing that I was hoping for at the end of it.
Yeah,
All right?
absolutely.
All right, good.
So
Well, thank
enjoy
you.
your trip.
Thank you so much.
Good luck on your
And, sir,
adventures.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. I want you to know I can just tell from the look in your eye you're a good man, and we appreciate you.
Enjoy
All
Las
right?
Vegas, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
So, adios to the Clark County Treasurer's Office. Gentlemen, appreciate you guys.
No problem, sir.
Thank you, sir. And at the end of the day, hope there's no hard feelings.
Of course not.
And I hope we all.
I understand what you're attempting, and I'm doing my job. You're doing yours.
Absolutely, and I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate you as well. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
I do hope you enjoy the rest of your trip. Sorry I got your age wrong, but
That's all right. He's a big kid.
it means maybe you'll get out there and you'll have no problem getting a mirror if you need one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's got to come home to me.
That's true.
That's it. All right. Well, you guys,
Thank
you guys stay safe and
Thank you. You too.
you know, have a wonderful day.
You too, sir.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Well, we're going to have to see the rest of the building on another visit because Watchman and I haven't eaten lunch. And we're
Or
starving.
breakfast.
Or breakfast. And it is 3:36 in the afternoon. Did I do a time and temperature check? Yeah, I did. Right?
Yeah, I think you did.
All right, just in case, let's throw another one in there. Today is Friday, February 28th at 3:36 in the afternoon, and it is 70 degrees at the Clark County Government Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I say that went well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Watchman?
Yeah.
Watchman's got a new haircut. Looking good, feeling good, now we gotta go get something to eat.
I think really brought down those barriers.
Enjoy the rest of your day, young lady. Thank you very much. Take care. And I hope you get that car soon. I'm rooting for you. I will. All right. All right, guys.
Well, all right, guys. You saw how that went here at the Clark County Government Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. At first, the employees here were concerned about our taking video, obviously called the police and didn't want us to take video here, but the police got here and upheld our First Amendment right to take video in the public areas of the building, so that's good. And this was a good opportunity to educate the public employees here on First Amendment protected activity.
We always ask that you comment.
Everybody's offended.
And let us know what you think. You guys don't seem offended.
No, not at all.
Good. Have a good day, brother. We always ask that you guys comment.
So that's about it for this one. Watching the Watchmen, out with Amagansett Press. So if you like this video and what we do, make sure you subscribe to my channel and Amagansett Press's channel on YouTube. And hit the like button. And if you want to see titles and thumbnails of new videos a day ahead, you can follow my Instagram and Twitter. So, Watching the Watchmen, out with Amagansett Press, here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hit the notification bell.
Out. See you in the next one, guys.
You'll be notified of all of our videos as they